Hi, it's KERR9000. Welcome back to my channel. And this is my review of the Doctor Who episode, The Giggle. So, without further ado, would you like a jelly baby?
Would you like a chili, baby?
Okay, so like I said, with the Wild Blue Yonder, it's a bit hard to do a review without spoiling it. So, for those who've not watched The Giggle, I would go and watch it. I've seen spoilers everywhere since I've watched it, and I'm really glad that, well, I didn't watch it live, but I just stayed off the net till I had time to watch it. And if you've not watched it, stop watching this and get off the net, basically, until you have. But anyway, let's get down to it. Spoilers abound. Now, Neil Patrick Harris, who I think is a great actor, plays the role of the Toymaker, or as some people will call him, the Celestial Toymaker. An entity whose power is well beyond the sort of things the Doctor usually deals with. He's pretty much God tier, and he can warp reality. And he's obsessed with games. Now, when the Doctor first met him so many years ago, the Doctor beat him. So now he's come back and he wants game 2. This episode, to me, parts of it were very reminiscent of the episode with the Master, with the sound of drums. Because obviously, if you've seen that, the Master kind of got that rhythm sent back in time, and he had everybody hearing it, and the do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Well, the Toymaker has had a noise, a giggle, basically put into all TV screens, television transmissions, since TV ever began. And this is influencing people. It's bringing out the worst in them. It's making them think that they are always right. Now, this is something I love because the Toymaker basically refers to the entire online world as a game. He says that all of Twitter, Facebook, everything is people playing this game where they're trying to be right all the time at any cost. And it's very true. It's very realistic commentary to me of what the online world is like today. People, whatever their political leaning or walk of life, essentially want to dominate the conversation and make it that their way is the way and everyone else is wrong. And we've seen it with all sorts of conspiracy theories. Nobody ever wants to listen to the side anymore. It is all me, 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 me. I think it's a fascinating plot. And the Doctor does, for once, talk about how we are savages and that this giggle has affected us, but all the hatred and the self-righteousness and is there within the human DNA. And this has just made us fall to our worst. Neil Patrick Harris plays brilliantly against David Tennant. I think the two really work well together. And I particularly love the scene played out to the Spice Girls where Neil Patrick Harris is just dancing through a unit base, turning gun bullets into flower petals. It really does show what kind of level of a menace he is. But it also shows that he's in it for the love of the game. The Doctor even says, with all the power you've got, you could do good. And he's like, I'm beyond good and evil. I love that we saw Unit Science Advisor back in the wheelchair. I think she's cracking Shirley. I think it was the 63rd Unit Science Advisor. And there's a brilliant bit where she stood up to use a console, and Kate Lethbridge-Stewart, who's got this thing on her arm that stops the effects of the giggle, has it turned off to show the Doctor what it does. And she basically accuses her of being a fraud because she can stand up. Now that's something that I think is another bit of social commentary that I actually like, because my missus is in a wheelchair but can stand and walk limited amounts, and you would not believe how many people, if they can see you walk 3 steps, think that you're instantly frauding. So it was great to see this sort of addressed in this show. But again, I think the way it was done, it wasn't, at least to me, overly preachy. Now, if you've seen the episode, what is the real game-changing, strange thing for Doctor Who is that when the Doctor is shot with the galvanic laser and going to die, and you think, oh, he's going to regenerate, he bi-regenerates. Instead of changing, he heals himself and splits in 2. Now, I know this has caused a lot of fuss with some people hating it, but I absolutely love it because it allowed the end part of this to be a multi-Doctor story. And it was great to see Ncuti Gatwa bouncing off David Tennant, and it also gave you a flavour of who he's going to be. And I loved that he was really supportive to David Tennant's Doctor and the pain he'd gone through, hugging him and like going, "It's okay, fella. I know where you are. I love you, man. It's going to be okay." And I think that has set up Ncuti Gatwa in a great way, because if he's being supportive and helpful to the Doctor everybody loves, it's got to have a nice rub on him, if you know what I mean. Also, I love the fact that with the Golden Tooth, we have got a story of how the Master has once again survived, and we know the Master is going to come back. And I know some people hate villains coming back and back, but the Master always survives. That's kind of his deal, is that no matter what you do, he will be back. I really, really enjoyed this episode. I've seen people say all sorts about it, weakest of the 3, and nah, I don't think so. I think it was really well done. Yeah, I had my odd little complaints with it. I would love it to have been longer, because I'd have loved to have seen more of Neil Patrick Harris and David Tennant bouncing off each other. They were brilliant. Catherine Tate was brilliant in it. Some of the stuff with the puppets was great. It was just a really, really idea-packed episode. And I think some of the ideas could have been stretched out far more. But overall, I think this is a total success. And I don't think they should go using the 14th Doctor constantly. You've got to let Ncuti Gatwa have his room to stand, room to go. Get a season out of him before you touch anything. But it's good that you've now got 14 in the basket. He's still out there, getting slightly older. He can come back in the future. He can appear in spin-offs. It helps with the whole Whoniverse. I've seen people argue about whether Ncuti is 14 later, and then when 14 dies, he'll disappear and just be Ncuti, or whether we'll have 2 Doctors regenerated, like he's split in 2 perfectly, and you'll have Ncuti the 15th and then his successor the 16th, and you'll have this 15th will be a different guy, and they'll carry on differently. That's kind of how I want it to go. I want them to carry on differently, but we'll see how it all wraps up. Anything's possible in Doctor Who. That's the whole point of a sci-fi show like that. Anything's possible. The universe and all of time and space is open. Anyway, that's me finishing. If you've enjoyed this video, I've got plenty more on my channel, more Doctor Who, horror movie reviews, other sci-fi, video games, all sorts. But thank you for watching. If you'd like to comment or leave a like, then that would be great. But most of all, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of yourself and each other. Laters, taters.
Hi, it's KERR9000. I'd just like to say thank you for making it to the end of my video. I've got lots of stuff on my channel, my horror house doing horror reviews, my game room where I talk about video games, sci-fi station, my diet corner videos, all kinds of stuff. I can also be found on the Retro Gamer U forum and the J Arcade forum, which are both great places full of great people and some great video game conversations. At the end of this video there'll be a little icon to tick if you want to subscribe, a link to a video and a link to one of my playlists. I'd also like to recommend the wonderful talented Just Jessica 1988 on TikTok, who does a lot of diet videos and is my supportive partner. Thank you once again for watching my video, and particularly if you follow me, thank you for all of your support. Have a great rest of your day. Laters, taters.